Hey guys, what's up? No intro for this one because we just got to talk about this now because a lot of people are upset about this and for good reason. And by the way, excuse the look, I'm at work right now and yeah, the hood because it's kind of cold where I'm at. I'm warming back up. Hopefully that panel will not start beeping again. I don't think it will. No, it's not beeping. Good. So this will be nice and quiet. Anyway, man. YouTube, Google, what the fuck? There are a lot of people upset with this Google crap that's going on. I just saw Skallagrim's video on his problems with the changes on YouTube. I just saw AlphaOmegaSin's video, his long rants on what's been happening with YouTube. That one's definitely worth watching. He's pissed. I'll probably put a link in the text description if I can get it up. If not right now, then later when I get home. By then I'll definitely be able to do this. But seriously, what the fuck? People are pissed off from the fact that they can't seem to get comments to work, to the fact that they're they don't want to be forced to get a Google Plus account, to the fact that their names have been changed, all this type of stuff. And people are really upset about it. Now me, I'm not pissed, but I am annoyed. And the reason why I'm not as pissed as other people is simply because I kind of saw this coming. Sort of. I mean, I didn't exactly see this exact thing happening, but let me explain. See, way back, if you guys remember, way back, when YouTube was implementing other changes that pissed people off, particularly the way they were setting up their copyright protection crap, their system where basically anybody can claim that somebody else infringe on somebody's copyright, or they could flag them and then the channel can instantly get flagged or can instantly get shut down, and all this other crap on their videos. And at the time when I commented on it, I stated that this is pretty much Google kowtowing to corporate interests, and that this is probably most likely what they want to do. Basically, it's looking like this is the same move again. This is more them catering more to these interests. And not only that, they're trying to kill two birds with one stone here. They're also trying to compete with Facebook. That's what I see this being. And again, let me explain. Facebook right now is probably one of the biggest social media sites that there is, right? I mean, you got Twitter, you got Instagram, you got all these other things, but when it comes to like just basic catching up with people, getting information on people, reading their messages, and checking out things like working on games and all that, it's pretty much Facebook. That's the hangout spot. That's the page that people tend to check when they first turn on the internet. I know a lot of people on Facebook. My wife likes going on Facebook. Everybody just pretty much goes straight to Facebook. Even I have a Facebook page. I don't use it as often as other people, but it is what it is. These days just about everybody's got a Facebook page. And what's interesting is all the things that have been integrated into it. Like I said, you got games that were integrated into it. You got video, limited video anyway, that's been integrated into it. They might have expanded upon that, but I haven't checked. You got, pictures, Instagram, all this stuff, and then people post up links to websites and videos and things like that. Now, Google put out Google Plus. Later on, they're changing it to Google Hangouts or whatever bullshit that is. And that was originally supposed to compete with Facebook, right? And it didn't really take off as big as they would have liked. It took off enough. There were enough features in there that I remembered at the beginning a lot of people, including a few friends of mine, actually said that Google Plus was better than Facebook in terms of how you were able to organize your friends and set up meetings and things like that. But it's not as popular. And I'm thinking that Google, is still trying to find some way to get deeper into that market, get deeper into that sort of niche, because there's still a lot of power and money to be had making sure that your social site is the premier one, or at least is a contender. And as far as I can tell, Google Plus, while it is used and does have a hell of a lot of features and such, isn't it's not, it's not really competing with Facebook as far as I can tell. If somebody can prove me wrong on that, they got statistics or something that they can show, please let me know, so I can be corrected on that. But from what I'm seeing, it's not exactly something that people mention in the same breath as when they mention. So let's put it this way: whenever I hear people mentioning social sites, Google Plus I rarely hear mentioned, and I'm thinking Google wants to change that. So they probably were seeing how, what do we have that can kind of leverage all this? Well, we do own YouTube. YouTube's one of the biggest freaking, as far as social sites go, YouTube's one of the biggest video sites there is. I mean, when it comes to looking up videos, it's YouTube. Yes, you have Bing. Yes, you have Twitch TV or other, video services, Vimeo and whatever. But by and large, you want to look up a video, you go to YouTube. And YouTube is a place where just about anybody can set up an account and post up videos about anything. It's like if you want to post up videos on your Let's Plays of video games, you can do that. You want to post up a video on how-tos on how to build a deck in your backyard, you could do that. You want to just simply put up a whole bunch of cats playing around, you can do that. And a lot of people who have Facebook pages or whatever tend to sometimes make YouTube videos for their friends to look at on their page. And Google was probably going, why don't we just link it to Google Plus? That way you got the page and it connects directly to YouTube, and that will be our big selling point, right? And everything will work through Google Plus. You get comments and all that, it goes straight to your page on Google Plus, and then people want to look at this, you want to check out your videos, they go to Google Plus. Stupid freaking idea because of all the changes you're going to have to do for the YouTube to make that work, but I kind of see that that's sort of what they're trying to do. But not only that, this does something else. See, in order to have a Hangout page, in order to have a Google account to begin with, you have to use your real name. And this is where my dilemma comes in. I remember, it was like either last year or the year before last, one of the big wigs in Google, when there was all this stuff about, the internet and being anonymous on the internet and such, one of the big wigs in Google, I remember, expressed his opinion that he doesn't think that anybody should be able to hide behind a username or a nickname on the internet. He believed that everybody, if you go online, people should know who you are. You should have to put up your real name so that you can't hide behind it to do things like trolling and hacking or whatever, cyberbullying and so on and so forth. Now, I personally thought that was a stupid freaking idea for the simple reason that, quite frankly, because we have usernames and stuff and people, don't necessarily have to use their real name when they go online, we get to see more of humanity. There's a lot of stuff that people hide when they have to show their real face. When there's a mask they can hide behind, or another name they can use, suddenly a lot of that inner shit comes out, and then you get to see the true face of humanity. And boy, have we seen quite a bit, haven't we? People probably didn't realize that there was still as many bigots and assholes out there until they were able to hide behind their names and be able to say whatever vitriol and bullshit they wanted to say. And I personally, in a weird sort of way, appreciate that, because you're able to actually gauge the problems that we face in humanity in terms of what ideas people have and opinions they hold and how our society is actually doing, right? Putting up our real name kind of fucks with that, because then once people know exactly who you are, now the consequences for saying what you're saying could be a little bit more, apparent. I should do another video just on the mask itself, because I think that would be a very interesting topic. But to get on with this, because this is going way longer than I wanted this to be, I'm seeing Google finding this as a way of killing several birds with one stone here. Not only are you bringing, hopefully they're hoping that they can make Google Plus more attractive by linking it to a YouTube account, but also you got the whole thing of if you got Gmail, which I have, and you got a Google Plus page, which I did get for reasons which I'll get into a little bit. You gotta use your real name. So you have to use your real name to get those things. Hold on for a second. I think it's too loud. Sorry. You have to use your real name to get these services. So notice that for the past few months now, when they were implementing these changes, you were constantly harassed to update your channel. And one of the things they wanted you to do is you had the option to switch to your real name or open up a Google Plus account. And neither of those choices were very attractive to somebody who didn't want to use their real name for many reasons, valid reasons, and probably had no use for a Google page. Especially me, who didn't really want to get two of them, because this is exactly what I was forced to do recently. I have a Google Plus account already. I had one way in the beginning when these things were first popping up, and the only reason why I got it was because a friend of mine was like, "You need to try it out. This is much better than Facebook." And I got it, and it seemed interesting. I like the way you were able to lump people up in circles and such, but hardly anyone I knew was using it. Like, okay, a few of my friends, I see their names on there, and they barely post up shit. If they're going to be posting up stuff, they usually just do it on Facebook. So I'm like, this is a waste of time. And I didn't look at Google Plus again. I had the account, but by and large, I did nothing with it. You know, it was just there. And Gmail is one of the main emails I use, specifically because, you know, through that I'm able to access my YouTube stuff, because my Gmail is linked to my YouTube account. Now, recently I remember I was having a little bit of a dilemma because, but here's the thing. I'm using Google Plus a lot more now, but for business reasons, pretty much, which I'll probably get into later on. But I was starting to use it for business reasons, and it got me thinking, because I'm using Google Plus specifically for video correspondence, and I was like, you know, this Hangout thing might be kind of cool if I ever decide to do another, you know, like, you remember how I used to every now and then do those live streams, and I was thinking, the Hangout thing would probably work for that. Stick'em doesn't seem to be around anymore, you know, so I would, you know, maybe I could do that one of these days, and Hangouts would be it could work for that. But I had a problem. One, not everybody, well, at the time, not everybody had a Google Plus account, and two, my Google Plus account was linked to my real name. And while I'm not one of those people who's terrified of somebody finding out my real name, it's not that big a deal to me. It's not the name I go by on YouTube, and I have reasons for wanting people to just know me. Let's put it this way. If you don't know me in real life, I don't think you should know my real name. It's just a personal thing. If you really want to find out my real name, it's not that hard. I got enough of a presence on the internet. I've written enough articles and made enough web pages and such that you can find out my real name. It's not that freaking hard. It's not anything that I'm terrified of. But having said that, I still have reasons for not plastering it all over YouTube. And I would hope that those who do know my real name would respect that decision of mine and not spew it all over. But whatever. But that was my hang-up. And then here comes YouTube trying to force me to use my real freaking name on here to update. And I'm like, no, what the fuck? And I noticed this is what, by the way, because in the beginning of this I said that they're trying to cut out the corporate interest. And here's where I get into the reasons why I say that. You had two choices, basically, if you already had a Google Plus account and they were trying to force you to go over to your real name, which is what they were doing with me. You could either use your real name and have that linked to all your videos from now on, or you could have a separate page, a separate Google Plus page specifically for YouTube. Like, you would have your main account, like your main Gmail or your main Google Plus page, which will represent you personally with your real name and all that, and then you would have a sub page that would represent your brand. Yes, your brand name, your company, which is what I was basically forced to do as of this moment, because I got tired of the harassment, and also because recently they now fucked it up so that you can't even make comments anymore without updating. I had no choice but to go with the second option. So now I have a sub on top of my regular page, which is linked to my real name. I now got a sub page which is linked to YouTube. from what I've been hearing, the comment section is completely broken now, because you try to make a comment, you can't really do it, or you can't really see it go up. You got to go on your fucking Google Plus page to even see the damn comments that are coming to you. Now, why the hell would they do something insane like that? Well, remember back to when I said brand name. Imagine, if you will, a company that wants to have its presence known on YouTube, and there are plenty of companies that are already doing this, and they're already putting up videos sponsoring their brand, and they want to have complete control over what is said and what comments come through and what they will be able to accept, and they want people to be able to go to their company page so they can see more of their products and more of their propaganda and shit. Well, before, they kind of had to do it through Facebook. You know, you go on Facebook, it was all fragmented. The company would have a Facebook page, and they would have a Twitter account, and they would have whatever videos they were doing, and you went on YouTube to see it. But Google is now advertising to these guys, we can do it all in one spot. We have a Google Plus page where you can have your page right there, and your YouTube channel right there, linked in with the same page, and all your messages go through the same page, and all the comments that come through, you can filter through the same page. Everything is concentrated in one area. And it'll be easier to manage. You won't have to be fragmented anymore. And that, by the way, is my belief of why they got rid of video responses. I remember the longest time I'm wondering, what the fuck? Why did they get rid of something that was so intuitive that people really liked? Well, again, look at it from the company angle. Imagine you're a company putting out shitty products, or you're somebody like, say, some creationist site or whatever, putting out propaganda that other people are able to counter. Or you're coming out with a product that people are like, nah, this is BS, and I'm going to put up my review on it. And they try to put it up as a video response. I used to see that a lot, like somebody like advertising something, or a company advertising something, and then there'll be video responses of people making their reviews on it, and some of the reviews would be good, and many of them would be bad. Well, you get rid of video responses, then any reviews that are negative reviews that are done are a lot harder to find, aren't they? You know, it's like if you like looking up, say, a really, you know, somebody is advertising some type of, I don't know, cell phone, say, and they're like, this cell phone is the shit. Their video is all, you know, showing happy, smiling people with the cell phone and all the cool things it can do. And then underneath you got videos going, this phone sucks. Well, you get rid of video responses, you don't got to deal with that anymore, now do you? Funny, I mean, speaking of video responses, I really miss those, but they're not. Okay, they're gone in an implemented fashion, but we can still respond to each other in videos. I'm doing that right now with Skallagrim. This is what I do. I just record the damn video, I put it up, I put a link to the video I'm responding to in the text description, and then I PM the guy to let them know I made a response. Or if they're subscribed to you already, they're gonna know. You know, they'll see the message feed. That's the best we can do under these crappy circumstances, but it's what we got. But anyway, I'm honestly thinking that that's the reason why they got rid of video responses. It's catering more toward these companies or corporations or businesses or brand names or celebrities that want to be able to control what's said about them and when content is being put on their channels and what's being put on their now Google Plus pages. They have complete control over what could be shown on there, which they already fucking had anyway. Back when we had video responses, you could choose whether or not you would let the video response go through, remember? If somebody made a video response to you, it would show up in the inbox, and it was up to you whether you were going to let it go through or not. You already had control over that. And if you made the response and you didn't see that little message underneath your video saying this is a response to such and such, you knew they didn't accept it, and then you'd be able to put another video saying, hey, this asshole didn't accept my response, I wonder why. Now you don't even have that anymore. So the company is now saving face in two ways. One, you don't got to worry about a bunch of videos saying your product or you suck, making you look bad on your own page. And two, you won't even have to deal with people saying, I made a response and this person didn't respond. Because you don't have video responses anymore. It's all catering to these guys. And if you notice, the you aspect of YouTube, just the regular everyday Joe, just simply putting videos up, is slowly being squeezed out. That's been happening for years now. I've been seeing that slow decline. That's why I'm saying, this is why I said in the beginning, I saw this coming. Not in this fashion. I didn't know exactly how they were doing it, but all these things, to me, is pointing out, like, you're squeezing out, like that. I kind of saw YouTube not only as a resource tool in the beginning, because you get to look up all types of really cool stuff, but I also saw it sort of like a video message board in some sense. Like, because some people were using it that way, me included. That's how I got into YouTube, actually making content. I saw a video, I really liked it. I decided I needed to respond, like the way you would respond to somebody on a message board. I got myself that little crappy old webcam, you know, that I recently replaced. And I responded that day, and that's what got me started. And many times I'm responding to other people like we're on a message board. That's like almost completely gone now. That personal aspect of YouTube where you're able to personally respond to people and react to the ideas. This is how we were able to have debates. This is how we were able to have discussions between people. Now it's just simply becoming a site for entertainment and for companies to push their products, and for internet celebrities or movie celebrities or whatever to make themselves look like a big deal. Now you're seeing on the front page video music awards being, like, you know, broadcasted and advertised. You're seeing corporate stuff being advertised. All this shit except you. You don't count because you're not a corporation. You don't have a brand name. And that's what I'm saying. I noticed when you had to upgrade, you had the choice of making your YouTube thing a brand name, because that's what Google wants. They want a bunch of corporations being able to pimp their products so they can get ad revenue. You can't exactly get that much ad revenue from somebody just simply posting pictures of their dog running around in the backyard, or a bunch of videos of people talking back and forth about what feminism or actually means, or what are the political ramifications of, you know, of corporate globalism, or any other particular type of topic that you want to discuss. This shit doesn't make money. But, you know, say somebody making a fool of themselves online just for the sake of entertainment, that does. Or somebody selling a product that, you know, is from an already established company, that does. Hell, I'm pretty sure you guys have already seen certain ads. Actually, they're not really ads, they're actually videos now from people who are either established celebrities or a corporate entity. It's a straight up video now that they're now showing us. Like, you get regular ads. I mean, you're getting ad videos, but I'm noticing more and more that straight up YouTube videos are now coming up as the ad. There's a reason for this. Now, this could be this has gone long enough. This is like 22 fucking minutes. So I'm sorry, I'm ending it off right here. This could be confirmation bias on my part, but I'm thinking this is why we're seeing the changes that we're seeing. And they suck from a old school YouTube standpoint. If you're the type of person who is using YouTube the way you have been, like, you know, individual people, independent people making content, you know, for their own sake and for their own selves, and not necessarily doing it for profit. Like, I'll admit, I have monetized some of my videos because I figured if I'm putting this stuff up, I might as well make a couple of pennies off of it. But I'm not necessarily doing this for profit. This is not what I'm going to be doing to feed myself. I got other stuff to feed myself. This place being one of them, one of my main jobs. But, you know, it seems that that's not what Google's interested in. They're looking for marketable people and corporations so they can sell those ads. That's what these changes seem to. This is what it seems that these changes are being geared towards. And at the same time, it's also kind of putting people in the bind where they have to use their real names now, which is what that one dude in Google wanted to begin with anyway. Remember, he said that he didn't want people being able to hide behind something. You have something as huge, as influential as YouTube, and you're forcing a lot of people on there to use their real names, you're kind of pushing toward that goal. Again, this could be confirmation bias on my part, but this is how I'm taking it. This is what the evidence is telling me. I could be wrong, but that's what I'm seeing. So am I happy with these changes? Hell no. What can we do about it? I don't know. I honestly don't know at this point. I really don't know, because it's like, okay, let's say we decide to leave YouTube. Okay, where do we go for one thing? And because I mean, there are other video sites, but they're not exactly the same as this. And not only that, but they kind of win if you leave, because if they really are trying to squeeze out, you know, individual people like you and me, and we decide we can't take any more, we just straight up leave, they won. And if we stay and stick with it, well, then it's like this slow grind to push toward what they want. But unless we come up with, unless we can find some way to convince them that you know, this is gonna not be in their best interests, it's just kind of. I hate to use it. Well, I shouldn't say I hate to, but I don't mean to push a Dark Souls reference at the end of this, but I guess it's fitting. For those of you who've played the game and those of you who know how it ends, This is kind of reminding me of that prophecy. No matter what the fuck happens, the prophecy says that the flames will fade and darkness will remain. You can either just make the darkness come like that, or you can light the fire and keep the flames going on a little bit longer, but sooner or later it's going to fade anyway. And that's sort of what I'm seeing here, what our choices are at this point, with the whole corporate, you know, switch over with YouTube. Sooner or later, this is going to be like TV, where it's just businesses and stuff being able to put content out there, and it's all marketed toward entertainment and propaganda and product placement, and not the free flow of information. That's pretty much what I'm saying. It's happening all over the internet. It was definitely going to happen with YouTube. I already saw the writing on the wall 3 years ago. So, yeah, that's what I think, but I don't know what else to say about it. I've ranted long enough.